So I got my palette prepped, I'm ready to go. I guess I'll just get started. Gotta open up my medium here. As always, it is excruciatingly hot, especially with these lights pointed at me. So what are we going to start with? We're going to start with this. It is green. It is a similar green to this here. There's a little bit of brown in there. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to mix the green similar to that, maybe a little less intense. Let's see. I'm going to start with a very, very little bit of blue. I'm going to take an even smaller amount of yellow because yellow likes to take over any mixture that it's in. And I just did the exact opposite of what I was saying. But I think we're getting close. We do want more of the yellow green. So I do think we still need a little bit of yellow. Even still. So this might be what we're looking for. Nope, not yet. Literally the one time I'm careful with my yellow, and I don't really need to be. Still gotta be more yellow. Okay, I think we had it. So I need to make this a little less intense. So how do we make stuff less intense? We have the opposite color. What's the opposite color of gray? That's right. So we have a yellow green. We're going to add a red purple. A very little bit. We don't want it to go past gray and start moving towards red. And we have our muted yellow green. Okay, so this is going to be lightened, it's going to be darkened, we're going to be working with just straight out brown. So that is a good starting point. I'm going to pretty much exclusively be using a tiny little brush. Reminds me of guacamole. Don't say that now, I want some guac. Alright, so I'm going to be using this tiny little brush. There it is. Basically because these are thin little leaves. I actually think this is still not white. It's still a little too intense. So I'm going to take some of it. I'm going to pull it over here. I'm going to make it even less intense. Almost to the point that it's a neutral, like brownish color. I think that's a little better. So one thing I do want to avoid is this pattern just being super saturated, because it's already going to be super busy. So if it's super saturated too, it's just there's nothing else is going to exist in this painting other than this chair, which I do kind of want to happen, but I don't want it to just look like eye poison. So now the question is, do we move up or do we move down? Do we kind of go diagonal? And I'm not sure what the best option is. I'm thinking down. I'm thinking we go down into this section here. Now what is there? That's some reds and greens. I think a lot of what this is actually mostly red and green. The only blue, I guess, is like intense blue is right here, obviously right there. So I think we may end up, oh, I'm not showing one. We may end up bringing the intensity down on these just a little bit. And we can do that just by mixing like a grayish neutral and just kind of glazing it over top of them. And I mean, they are dry enough. I could potentially do it now, but I kind of want to see how it looks. And then I'll tackle everything all at once, you know, in terms of how intense the colors are. So, hydrate quick. So, have any artists in the chat other than Do My Future? Real up close and personal. All right, so this also has this like lip seam going around it, so we do have to be careful of that. Other than that, this shouldn't be too hard. The only curve we have to account for here is the cushion coming down a little bit right here. So we don't have to worry about this, you know, cylindrical kind of warp in the design. So that's good. That's a relief. I guess we just got to do it. So we're going to start with yellow. As always, we're going to go hue, intensity, value as we're mixing the color. So we want to get the right hue first. So where is it on the color wheel? Then we want to determine if it's, you know, super vibrant or if it's closer to gray. And then from there, we add white or a darker color, usually not black, black's bad, to make it either light or dark. So we want a very light yellow color, but also one that is not intense. So yellow is super, super crazy when you mix it into anything, so I'm not going to use a whole lot. In fact, that's probably too much. So the opposite of yellow is purple. So we're going to mix in some red and some blue to kind of mix a purple. I'll apply. And the yellow is getting taken over a bit too much. So we're going to banish most of this color. And then start with yellow again, leaving what was on the palette knife there. And we have a somewhat muted yellow. I'm going to keep mixing this starting color into it. It's going a little bit towards orange, so we're going to put a little more blue into that. And now we have a green, so we're going to banish that as well. We're going to grab more yellow. and start mixing that into it. And I think we finally have it. Exactly what we're looking for. A very muted yellow. Almost to the point that it's a light brown. So we're just going to add some white to this. We're going to make it light. And we don't really need a whole lot of variation. We're going to be mixing a green into this. So that's going to kind of, oh God, what am I doing? This brush was not wiped off. There we go. So we're going to start on this side instead. And we need to work some white into this. I guess if I do it over here, you'll kind of be able to see it. So that's what we're looking for. Right there. Bring it back a little bit, we can see everything all at once. All right, I move out of the way. You see it on the main camera too. It's not looking too bad. Nice. No complaints here. So I guess the music stopped. I get that quick. I'm going to start with my favorite of the stream beats. Ambient gold. And I think we can potentially tackle these leaves here. They are basically a blue-gray, which is kind of strange compared to everything else, but I guess you could compare it to some of the blues in that flower there, but even more gray. So a little bit strange compared to what we have, but we do have a blue-gray right there. So I think we could probably start with that. Ow, foot cramp, I'm going down. Man down. Oh man, that's so weird. Alright, we're better now. We're better, we survived it. So you do collage in Photoshop first, then move on to oil paint. It's tons of work. I mean, yes, it is. I guess you could consider it collage. I use Adobe Illustrator. I think it's easier than Photoshop, but I don't put a lot of work into the reference photo. It's really, really, really rough. I'm not doing any custom drawing or anything. It's really just cutting things out, putting them in place. Some of them even have nasty like edges where I didn't crop them out very well. I literally just use an angular line tool to cut them out. I'm not trying to like mimic, I'm not trying to make a final, design first. It's specifically just for reference. Really, I want to have the overall composition laid out, and I want to have good references for the figure mostly, but in this case also the pattern. But a lot of the time I'm like trying to reference myself to really get it right, and I don't like doing that. I've had to do it a little bit over here. That hand is actually my hand. I just took a photo of myself in the right light, chopped it out, and put it in my reference photo. Some of the lay of that hood is me with my hood up, actually on stream, taking a photo there. So if you saw the reference photo, you'd probably be appalled. So it's certainly not. It's not as much work as you think. The key things that I try to take out of that are, where is everything? Where are my darks? Where are my lightest lights? Where are my focal points? How does my eye move throughout it? And everything else is kind of just there. So it is a bit of planning, but it makes things a lot easier later on. A lot easier later on. So I should probably stop procrastinating and work on. Oh, the light went off. The light went out while I was talking after saying how impressed I was that it stayed on. Man. Alright, so I think I'm gonna call the stream there. Made a ton of progress today after a really, really bad stream yesterday. Stressful, messed up, had to wipe it. It was just real bad. Today was a nice redemption, if you will. So it's looking good. I actually want to get super close to my screen here and take a look at it. It's looking pretty all right. I'm liking it. So if you're in here and you haven't already, please consider following. Helps me out. Also, check me out on YouTube. You can subscribe there. I actually do put quite a bit of work into those videos. It's not just stream footage anymore. A lot of time lapse. Quite a bit of editing. Each stream turns into one 15 to 20 minute video. So subscribe if you're into that, and follow, and thank you. I'll be back here same time, same place next week, Monday and Tuesday. So I will see you then. Thanks. Have a good week, guys.